We're talking with Dave Staley, candidate for Mercer County Sheriff on the Democratic side. Dave, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, Jim. My name's Dave Staley. I'm a lifelong resident of Mercer County. I've lived here, grown up in Aledo, lived in the county my entire life. I've worked for the Sheriff's Office started down there in 2001 as a part-time telecommunicator. Worked my way up through the ranks, became a full-time correctional officer, and then eventually worked my way out onto the road, and I'm now a full-time patrol deputy.
Okay, so what do you feel are your qualifications then for this position? Because obviously a sheriff is not what everybody envisions, this guy going out and solving crimes and getting the bad guys, although that certainly is part of the job, but there's a lot more to it than that.
That's correct. The sheriff, in my opinion, is the man that's elected by, or woman, that is elected by the taxpayers and by the citizens to make sure that their law enforcement is everything that they need it to be. That's a full circle, well-rounded position. You've got to deal with the county board. You're responsible to the county board and to the taxpayers and the citizens for a budget. You have to operate within that budget. We've all got to live within our means, especially in times like this. But you've also got to solve crimes. You've got to put people in positions that can solve those crimes. I believe in a proactive department, Jim. I believe we should be out there looking for the bad guys, not just sitting around waiting for Mr. or Mrs. homeowner to come home and find out that the bad guy's been there. So I believe in proactive law enforcement, and I believe it's the sheriff's job to manage that entire realm of law enforcement. Beholden to the taxpayers and the county board for the money, but also be responsible to the citizens for providing the services that they pay for and that they deserve.
So, with all this in mind, then, what do you think is the aspect that you have that's going to make you the best candidate of the three involved?
I think the fact that I've worked in all three divisions. I've been the telecommunicator that takes the 911 call. I know what that's like. It's a very stressful job. I've been the correctional officer who gets to deal with whoever the patrol guys bring in off the street. That's a very difficult position to be in. But I learned a lot doing that. It teaches you a lot about dealing with people. And I've also been the guy who gets sent to the 911 call and doesn't know for sure what he's getting into until you get there. And I've been the guy who has to make that split-second decision on possibly taking somebody's life or saving somebody's life. So I think that makes me a very well-rounded candidate. The other part of that, Jim, is I believe I'm fresh blood into the administration side of things. I think it's time for some new ideas instead of just doing things the same way we've done them for the last 25 years or 30 years or however long it's been. So I think it's time for some new ideas, and I believe I can bring those new ideas and that new leadership to the sheriff's office.
Okay, let's talk about those new ideas, particularly in a subject in which almost the entire county is talking about, and that's the jail. Now, the jail has been with us now for a few years. Can you give us a little bit of history about how this transpired and what you think should be done or what you think you can do with this?
Well, first off, Jim, let me say that the jail is, we have it. We can't unbuild it. I didn't necessarily agree with building it, but I'm a patrol deputy. I wasn't in on those decisions. I'm not saying that, Sheriff Thompson had a bad idea. I'm just saying that whatever that idea was has come to fruition. Whoever the next sheriff is has got to figure out a way to make it work. It's working relatively well now, but we're in a period of time of getting short on inmates and we could be in trouble. So whoever the next sheriff is has to be dead on certain and work very hard to make sure that that jail does succeed. Otherwise it'll be a complete devastation to the county.
Do you have any qualms about the fact that you have to make money for the county? Is this a problem with you?
I do have a bit of an issue with that. I believe that we've turned law enforcement into a money-making proposition in this county. The county board, if, you know, historically, if we house 50 inmates and make $500,000, those are numbers that I'm not saying those are the exact numbers, but if we make money, they tend to take the money out the backside of the budget somewhere, and no matter how much we make, they want us to make more. Law enforcement is a service. It is a taxpayer-funded service. We are there to go out and serve the needs of the public. We are not necessarily there to support the entire county government. When we're selling off assets that are supposed to be money-making assets, a hospital and a nursing home, those are money-making businesses. But we sell those off and then expect the law enforcement to pick up the slack and to carry the ball. And I don't necessarily believe in that. I believe our job is to serve the citizens, to protect the citizens, and to make this the best county that we can possibly make it to raise our children in.